This is on the book of Daniel. This will be the chapter 3, Daniel 2:14 through 30. And we're still dealing with Nebuchadnezzar's first dream. So let me get to chapter 3. Okay. Daniel prays to God. Okay.
Daniel 2:14, when Arioch, the commander of the king's guard, had gone out to put to death the wise men of Babylon, Daniel spoke to him with wisdom and tact. He asked the king's officer, why did the king issue such a harsh decree? Arioch then explained the matter to Daniel. This Daniel went in to the king and asked for time, so that he might interpret the dream for him.
So what was Arioch's mission?
To execute the wise men.
Right. When Daniel asked Arioch his question, was he impatient, yelling and screaming, frightened and scared? How did he speak with the commander?
He spoke with him with wisdom and tact, so he was very calm.
Right. Wisdom seems to be one of Daniel's gifts.
Yep.
Once he knew the reason for the death sentence, who did Daniel go to?
The king.
Right. Did Daniel accuse the king for asking something unreasonable?
No.
Did he say, I can interpret your dream right now?
No.
Did Daniel make himself look impressive by saying, your other advisors can't, but I can interpret your dream for you?
No.
Why would Daniel need time?
To pray to God.
Pray to God. And even though he can interpret dreams, this is a major dream. So to pray to God to get guidance. Yeah.
Daniel 2:17. Then Daniel returned to his house and explained the matter to his friends, Hananiah, Mishael, and Azariah. He urged them to plead for mercy from the God of heaven concerning this mystery, so that he and his friends might not be executed with the rest of the wise men of Babylon.
Right. Who did he explain the problem to?
Hananiah, Mishael, and Azariah.
Were these three in danger as well?
Yes.
At times, Daniel, or the writer of Daniel, uses the Hebrew names of his three friends, and at other times they're Babylonian names. Why does he switch back and forth, do you think?
I do believe it's just depends on who he's around, whose company they're in.
Exactly. He's in a privacy right now, and so he's going to say their Hebrew names. When they're in public, he's going to use their Persian names. Yeah. What's another word for plead for mercy?
Pray.
Yeah. Whom were they to plead for mercy to?
God.
And what was the mystery?
The dream.
Yeah. Consider for a moment the complete impossibility of the task. It's not just the interpretation, but also to know the dream that was dreamt by the king. If Daniel is wrong, his death would be the result. I don't know if I have this level of faith in my own country where I can worship freely and in public. We have not been tested.
No.
And I sure hope that, I mean, this is only one of the many tests in Daniel. I sure hope that I can pass these tests. I hope I can, but oh, I don't know. I have not yet been tested like this before.
Yeah, true. Okay. Daniel 2:19. During the night, the mystery was revealed to Daniel in a vision. Then Daniel praised the God of heaven and said, praise be to the name of God forever and ever. Wisdom and power are his. He changes time and reason. He disposes kings and raises up others. He gives wisdom to the wise and knowledge to the discerning. He reveals deep and hidden things. He knows what lies in darkness, and light dwells with him. I thank and praise you, God of my ancestors. You have given me wisdom and power. You have made known to me what we asked of you. You have made known to us the dream of the king.
Right. So let's do a deep study on the scriptures from the previous page. 1, since Daniel received the vision at night, what was he most likely doing?
Sleeping.
Right. When Daniel received both the vision the king saw and the interpretation, he praises God. Let's look at his praises as his words show up throughout the Bible. A, praise be the name of God forever and ever.
Wisdom and power are his.
are his. Job 12:13, to God belongs wisdom and power, counseling and understanding are his. So basically what Daniel says shows up throughout the Bible. Kind of interesting.
Uh-huh.
Complete number B.
He changes times and seasons.
Right, Ecclesiastes 3:1, there is a time for everything and a season for every activity under the heavens. Genesis 8:22, as long as the earth endures, seed time and harvest, cold and heat, summer and winter, day and night will never cease. And complete C.
He disposes kings and raises up others.
Right, Luke 1:52, he has brought down rulers from their thrones, but has lifted up the humble. Number D.
He gives wisdom to the wise and knowledge to the discerning.
Proverbs 1:1-6, the Proverbs of Solomon, king of David, king of Israel, for gaining wisdom and instruction, for understanding words of insight, for receiving instruction in prudent behavior, doing what is right and just and fair, for giving prudence to those who are simple, knowledge and discretion to the young. Let the wise listen and add to their learning. Let the discerning get guidance for understanding proverbs and parables, the sayings and riddles of the wise. Number E.
He reveals deep and hidden things.
Right, Luke 12:2, there's nothing concealed that will not be disclosed or hidden that will not be made known. F.
He knows what lies in darkness, and light dwells in him.
Right, Job 12:22, he reveals the deep things of darkness and brings utter darkness into the light. John 12:46, I've come into the world as a light so that no one who believes in me should stay in darkness.
I found that very interesting. I actually went and looked those up, and yeah, it was very interesting how they tied together in with that.
Right, right. Sometimes it's just amazing. Daniel's book has been used throughout the Bible, and still we've got prophecy, which is probably in the second part of the book, that, well, and some here, that hasn't happened yet. So
Daniel 2:24, then Daniel went to Arioch, whom the king had appointed to execute the wise men of Babylon, and said to him, do not execute the wise men of Babylon. Take me to the king, and I will interpret his dream for him. Arioch took Daniel to the king at once and said, I have found a man among the exiles from Judah who can tell the king what his dream means.
Okay, so why did Daniel go to Arioch first?
Because he was appointed to do the executions.
Right. So he wanted to make sure that Arioch was included in this whole thing.
So he would halt.
Yeah. Where did Arioch take Daniel?
To the king.
Right. And go ahead and complete number 3.
Okay. Arioch says to the king, I have found a man among the exiles from Judah who can tell the king what his dream means.
So wait, who did Daniel go to originally when he heard the wise men were being murdered?
The king.
Do you think Arioch was not aware that Daniel had gone to see the king before?
I think Arioch knew.
You think so? Okay.
Yeah.
I got the impression that Arioch didn't know, because he comes all prideful to the king, like, I found someone, as if he didn't know. And Daniel didn't seem to have gone through him when he first talked to the king, but he allows Arioch to take the glory now.
Yeah, that is true.
Did Arioch find Daniel, or did Daniel find him?
Daniel found him.
Why would Arioch lie to the king?
Because he wanted the glory.
Right. He wanted the glory. Yes.
Daniel 2:26, the king asked Daniel, also called Belteshazzar, are you able to tell me what I saw in my dreams and interpret it? Daniel replied, no wise man, chanter, magician, or diviner can explain to the king the mystery he has asked about. But there is a God in heaven who reveals mysteries. He has shown King Nebuchadnezzar what will happen in days to come.
Very similar to what Joseph said to the Pharaoh, actually.
Yes, it is.
What was Daniel's Babylonian name?
Belteshazzar.
Daniel calls the group of advisors different names than we originally heard. What two names are different in the Daniel than in Daniel 2:2?
Wisemen and diviners.
Right. If a diviner is a sorcerer, then what is the other name for wise men?
Astrologer.
Okay. Or also known as Chaldeans. And by the way, Chaldea is where Abraham came from.
Okay.
What does Daniel say about the king's other advisors?
That they cannot explain the mysteries he has asked.
But Daniel basically tells the king, no need to go to those advisors again. Who does Daniel say is the only person that can explain the mystery to the king?
God.
What was the dream King Nebuchadnezzar had about?
What will happen in days to come?
In this, Daniel is telling the king that he was right. This dream is very important.
Daniel 2:28. Your dream and the visions that passed through your mind as you were lying in bed are these. As your majesty was lying there, your mind turned to things to come, and the revealer of the mystery showed you what is going to happen. As for me, this mystery has been revealed to me, not because I have greater wisdom than anyone else alive, but so that your majesty may know the interpretation and that you may understand what went through your mind.
As the king was lying in his bed, his mind started thinking about what?
Things to come.
What title did Daniel give God here?
Reveler.
Yeah. In the Bible, the word mystery sometimes it means something slightly different than how we interpret the word today. Biblically, it means something that has been hidden in the past but is now revealed. The word is usually used when a mystery is being revealed versus when the problem is first discovered, which is our current use of the term mystery. For more biblical references to the word mystery, check out Romans 11:25 and 1 Corinthians 15:51. Why was Daniel given the interpretation of the mystery?
So the king may know the interpretation and understand it.
According to Daniel 2:6, what will the king give Daniel if he interprets the dream?
Gifts, rewards, and great honor.
And of course, the execution of the wise men may be stopped too.
Yeah, sure.
Okay, so we get to the end of this chapter already.
Mm-hmm.
Number 1, Daniel is in exile from what country?
Judah.
Okay. Number 5, Daniel asked his friends to pray to God to reveal this
mystery
and 8 across. In Daniel 2:23, Daniel calls God the God of his
ancestors.
And number 9, what is the name of the commander of the king's guard?
Arioch.
And 10, Arioch, it took Daniel to see whom?
The king.
And 11, in Daniel 2:29, Daniel calls God the
revealer
of mysteries. Okay, 1 down. Daniel asked the king for time so that he might be able to interpret the
dream.
And 3, Daniel returned to his house and talked with Hananiah, Mishael, and
area.
Sure, that guy.
Yeah.
What is Daniel's Babylonian name?
Belteshazzar.
Right. And 6, a diviner is also known as a
astrologer. No, where's my answer at? Hold on. It's which one is that? 3 down?
6 down. 6 down.
Okay. Sorcerer. Sorry.
Yeah, sorcerer. 7, the mystery was revealed to Daniel in a
dream.
Yeah. So yeah, that's where
well, it was actually vision was the answer that fit in there. In order to get everything else correct, it had to be vision.
Well, maybe then the word vision is also in there in the because I go right from the words itself.
Yeah.
But anyway. So we are finished with this chapter, and let me go ahead and close us off here, and we can use the rest of the time maybe for prayer and stuff.